So let's do a quick walkthrough of bed frame and of the way I fastened it. To fasten this beam here, I used 2 screws. Now in hindsight, I should have probably made them line up. I used one of these longer screws here because I wanted to go through this beam, and to actually go into this one to tie them all together. Here it's the same principle, except I'm not sure if this one went all the way. Oh yes, it did. So it actually went through and went into that one as well. I believe the reason I used these ones here is because they're a little thinner and I didn't want them protruding too much into the space here. So that's what I did there. Let's go over here. This is the middle beam that ties the bed together. You see, it's a king-size frame. I didn't want to use a middle leg because I hate those middle legs. They're always flimsy. They're always bending under the bed. So no middle leg here. And since it's a king-size frame, I had to use a middle beam, and I had to use nice solid 8 by 8 centimeter beams to build the frame of the bed, and to make sure that all the weight rests on them, and they're sturdy enough and tied together well enough that this is not going to be a problem. You see. So I'm using 2 centimeter, about this wide or this thick lats. And they're going to be equally spaced apart, and I'm going to nail them into these smaller 4 by 4.6 centimeter beams that I fastened into the larger ones. And they're just going to go like this all the way, and in here too. So that's the purpose for the middle beam. Now you'll notice the configuration here. What I did is I came across with this beam because I wanted to have a single beam to span the entire width of the bed. So when you look at it from the back, it's not an interrupted length. You see, it's one single beam that you see. It's visually nicer that way, I think. So that's what I did here. So I fastened the leg, which is this part right here. I fastened it between this beam and the transverse beam that ties to the front of the bed. And I used these other smaller beams to sort of corner it, or to push it into the corner. And I fastened it from the back, as I did the other back leg, with one of these self-screwing hex screws, which goes into this one here. I then fastened it also with one of these screws that goes into it, and also into the smaller beam over there. One of these ties these 2 beams together, and also I used a longer one here that goes through this, and also into this smaller beam here. So you see, it's fastened from all 4 directions. It's kind of hard for it to, budge, which it doesn't. Right now, if I'm pulling on it, the whole frame moves. The leg is not wobbly at all. So that's what I'm hoping will happen in real world use, as they say. And so what you've got here at the front is, you see, I've made the leg of the bed protrude between the 2 beams here. So the transverse beam, instead of tying into the front beam, instead of tying into the transverse beam that ties the front to the back, it ties into the leg, which itself ties into this one. Now, why in the world did I do that? I did that because the back of the bed supports these, which is sort of like the headrest for the bed. You see, this goes here like this. You see? I'm going to fasten it with some big screws, and then I'm going to tie the headboard to 2 of these. So I got another one that ties into that leg over there, and they're going to have 2 boards that go in between them. So it's pretty easy to make this way, at least for me, since I don't know how to do dovetail joints. Again, one of my weaknesses, but I think the bed is fairly sturdy without them. So that's what I did here. I had to bring the leg forward so I could tie this head post leg into this one. I didn't want to make it a single leg because, well, I'm obsessive about these things. I wanted the entire bed frame to be the exact width and length of the mattress. And so what you have here is this entire frame is exactly 193 by 203 centimeters, which is the dimension of the king-size mattress. So that's what I did. Um, Now this is fastened a bit differently. You see here I've got a long screw that goes through here, through this beam, and also ties into this one. And so I've got this tied together like this. And then from here, I've got two screws, not just one, that go through here, and through here, so that they tie this together even more. And from the back, I've also got one of these self-screwing hex screws, or whatever they're called, that goes from here into this beam and into here, and it ties this together as well. And not to mention that this is also, you know, fastened with, you know, wood screws, long wood screws into this beam, and so it's all pretty solid. You can pretty much dance on this bed and nothing's gonna happen. This is actually another 8x8 centimeter beam, just like these. But what I did is I cut it with the help of a carpenter friend who's got a circular saw, which I don't have. I only have a pendulum saw. And so what I did is I cut it with from here to here with a long cut, which is going to slant it as you mount it to a vertical beam. So it's, instead of being parallel, it's at an angle and it slants it. And to slant it even more, to give it even more of a back-leaning angle, I cut it here too. And it's a little asymmetric when you look at it, because this half is longer than the other half, or not really halves since they're asymmetric. But anyway, it's a little longer than the other one. There's my kitten again. And this is to accommodate the headrest. And I also left a little extra height here because I'm not sure at what angle the headrest is going to combine with this, and I might want to level it so it's, you know, exactly horizontal instead of like this or like this. So we'll see. We'll see how that fits together, and I'll take out my pendulum saw and make sure that it's all lining up. And there's my kitten. This is one of the headrest boards right here. So, you know, there are two of them. Each of them is 21 centimeters wide and 193 centimeters long. And I had these cut to size at a local wood store. And they also did me the favor of finishing them. They didn't do a very good job. I mean, you can see it's got sort of these gratings, and so I'm gonna have to sand this down till it's nice and smooth. Since this is gonna be, this along with the bed legs is gonna be the very visible part of the bed. The rest is gonna be pretty much hidden by the mattress and the sheets. But the legs and the headrest really have to look good. So I'm gonna have to play with them a little more. Take out my sander. You see here, a very good sander. This one, I like it. Now I gotta finish sanding the lats that span the bed. Oh, just to show you what they look like. This is one of them. So, you know, they're going to be equally spaced. A whole bunch of them, sanded down nicely, all the edges rounded, and screwed into those 4x4.6 centimeter beams. And they're a little elastic, you see. They're not too elastic, but they're elastic enough that if I put the mattress right on top of them, it's not going to be just a weird feeling from having something really hard underneath. It's going to be sort of something that gives way and flexes. It's nice. At least I hope so. So here's the bed frame, which is almost complete. I still have to put the headrests on those back posts that you see there. The headrests are the ones resting against the wall there.